Welcome to another Alpha Magnus review. This time, we got one that's a little out of my wheelhouse. Huge He-Man fan. He-Man, New Adventures of He-Man? I don't know nothing about it. I aged out of He-Man at a young age because of Ninja Turtles before they came out with this. So I love the original series. That's why it's playing in the background. But this was just not what I wanted. Looking back at it, I think it would have been cool if they'd have explained a little more. Here's some more art, some back art. I've already done all of these characters, so this guy is way behind. It's scaly space mutant enforcer. It's got his little, if I can stop hitting this, little bio right here if you want to read that. He's Slushhead, and he's just my type. I don't know. I keep buying these because I have a problem, and I am currently in the FOMO universe of collecting, where if I don't buy it now, I will never be able to find it again, because I continually run into that with other lines, and this is no different. So I have the Skeletor and the He-Man of this. What I had hoped was that the Kevin Smith show that came out, and if you want to, I have a link somewhere. I'll try to post that too. I did a two-parter on the Unfunny Nerd Tangent podcast a couple of years ago, back when the Kevin Smith show was coming out. And I pretty much guessed exactly what was going to happen in the first season, Revelation, I think it was. So now that we have Revolution coming out, I don't really have any idea what's going on, because what I thought was going to happen, happened. And I didn't expect it to be a second season, so I didn't really have any speculative thing. Now, what I'm hoping happens is what didn't happen with the last series, is that it bridges the gap between New Adventures and Masters of the Universe, because we never really got that gap bridged. We got He-Man ended. There might have been a comic, and then we went right into New Adventures without any explanation as to why all of these people look different. And for me, that's not acceptable. I'm going to keep undoing this. This is a lot of stuff this guy has. This is a heckin' chonker of a figure here. If you haven't, I recommend purchasing things on Target's website using the Target card as well, because I purchased this one, got it shipped to me, and I got like an obscene return policy, and I did that with Whiplash as well, and I ended up getting like a 6-month return policy. So I ended up finding Whiplash for $10. So I got my $25 back, because it was like $35 for this guy. So I did the same with this. I'm going to do that from now on. Target be damned. They canceled my Sunman 3-pack without my express permission. And then I found it in stores, which makes 0 sense. Like, what's the point of pre-ordering? Oh, it's so that we know how much the stores we should order. Then we just cancel your pre-orders, because screw you guys. So Slushhead here's pretty cool, as is. But what I'm hoping is that they do a gap from what is going on here? I thought you could pop his head off. Do you have to pop this whole thing off to do that? That's kind of dumb. I hope they were going to bridge the gap so that you found out, and they kind of did it in the last one where you find out Prince Adam chooses to be Prince Adam sorry, first off, if you have not watched Masters of the Universe Revelation and you want to, I am going to spoil the hell out of that in about 30 seconds through this entire thing. So, I had hoped what they were going to do. Actually, I really like that. I might pick up some more of these if these go on clearance. What I was hoping they were going to do is bridge that gap by introducing the fact that the Prince Adam that we see in He-Man, New Adventures of He-Man, is actually Prince Adam, who chooses to just grow up and be himself instead of turning into He-Man all the time, utilizing the power of the sword, but not so much the brute strength that he did as a child, or whatever you want to call that, because he was pretty much the same dude. But in Revelation, he chooses when he dies to go to what is it, Preternia? They call it something else. But he chooses to be himself instead of his He-Man form. And then this shows that, well, the sword was just the thing that tuned it, and he turns into Savage He-Man. It's a whole thing. The whole show is worth watching, in my opinion, if you are not angry about things not being exactly as they were. So anyway, at the very end of that series, Skeletor gets essentially kind of weirdly forced into becoming a robotic version of himself, which is what we see in New Adventures. I called that 6 months before. So I was on the Mike Seibert radio podcast, and I was on 2 of the Unfunny Nerd Tangents, where I pretty much called that. I also called Orko the White. I called a whole bunch of stuff in that show. So, wow. I called a whole bunch. But one of my big things is hoping that they actually do that, because that would explain why Skeletor is like this mutated weirdo kind of a thing, as well as why He-Man chooses to be his human younger form. It doesn't really explain why Teela's a blonde later on, but I mean, maybe that's a different Teela. And hey, looks like I'm getting a new one, because I just touched this and this broke. What the hell? Okay, that's interesting. Luckily, I have some thin super glue here. Where's my plate? We'll use this. We'll use this big bag of stuff here. Just touched that, and the probably marbleized plastic that they use, which they insist on using on these things instead of just painting it silver, just cracked into a bunch of pieces there. So I'm going to tap that out. That's fun. That is fun here. So, hey, watch touching it. I didn't even like twist it or nothing. It just literally just turned to dust. I have literally no idea what I did to get that to break. Let's just hope that the super glue holds while I do some other stuff. Also cannot recommend this stuff enough. It is super thin super glue. One of my problems with the bigger super glue is that it's so thick. The gel is thick, and then the regular super glue just kind of pours on. That's nice and thin stuff right there. It's not as strong of a bond, I don't believe, but it gets into them nooks and crannies. So if you use thicker stuff, you can move it along. So he does have a head swap feature, which I kind of prefer this head over this one. So we're going to pop that off, pop this on. I am not familiar with this character in the slightest. So bear with me as I try to figure this out. He does have the standard locking mechanism of most of the Masters of the Universe line here, where this pops on here. His seem a little better than some of the previous ones, though. I do have to give it to him there. I believe this is his backpack, which plugs onto there. It has like a gooey, slushy thing in the back, making him very back heavy. I don't know if this head is just like when he gets fat and gluttonous with stuff, but looks like these all can plug into there. And then this must be, wow, I have no idea what any of this is. This is like another piece. So does this go on first? I gotta look at the back here. Well, it looks like he has two different modes, so you can plug this in here, and then he's got the little things that plug out. He's very modular, but I think you can just do this and then have it all. Why wouldn't you just do that, right? Here's his weird axe thingy. I'm now terrified that I'm going to break every one of these pieces. That broke without any... Like, I'm a big dude, and that broke, like, with me using my pinky on it. His arms are also a bit loose, which is kind of a bummer. Or his hands, at least, are a bit loose. I don't think I have... These monster feet don't fit in these well. I don't think I have a bigger one around. I got this one that I used for flip over here. I guess I should probably keep flip over out for my Masters of the Universe stuff, because this is the smaller one for the actual... Yeah, it'll work better. Hopefully it keeps him up a little better. He does come with 2 fisticuffs, which we will not need. And then an open hand of each variety. And then these are supposed to go into the back. But oh, you know what? I think this also can be like its own thing. So I might just do that. It's been a while since I've looked at this series. It's been a while. These would have been nice if they were actually bendable, but having seen this just literally crack right off, don't bend this thing at all. Looks like there is a hinge there, but that still terrifies me. There's a little hinge right there, but that still terrifies me to even look at. Not really how I wanted to start this review. So that makes him super back heavy. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. So it's like either or with these things. I'm not a fan of this. I think I'm just going to plug this into his back. Deal with it there. And there we go. There's Mr. Slushy, the head of Slushingtons. Weird guy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yeah, it doesn't show. That's been one of my problems with these figures, all figures right now. They don't show you what you're supposed to do with stuff. You're just supposed to know. And kind of shows them with the other version on here, where it's just the other backpack. But then you got this extra piece farting around. If you know what all this is for, please leave a comment below. I am clueless to this. But he's a cool looking dude, and I'm glad to have him, because one day when I decide to watch New Adventures, I now don't have to be angry that I skipped him. This is the problem with collecting toys right now, because there are certain toys that, like, oh, hey, I see him on the shelf for 1 second, and then they're gone forever. Another ones sit around for a year. I think this guy's going to be a sit-arounder. But one thing I do like about him is this canopy here. That could be real fun to make some customs with. So, yeah. And I am still trying to continue the WWE Eternia line. So, having some extra weird parts like that gonna be good for later. Because then I can make him some weird guy. But that's Slushhead. Do I like him? Yeah, he's okay. Am I mad that that part broke? Heck yes. Am I gonna even bother probably trying to get another one? No, because that plastic is real cheap, and I feel like that's just gonna happen again and again. So this is all gonna go into a bag, and might even have some bubble wrap around it, and we're just going to wait until I get a shelf for New Adventures started. Only got 3 New Adventures ones, so not really going too crazy on it. Maybe there'll be the New Adventures movie verse, because I do have quite a few movie guys. So I got, this is my custom Lubick that I made, and then for the movie, and then we've got Evil Lynn. I have the 2, the Skeletor and He-Man. We got a Gwildor coming for Revelation, but that's just going to go right into my movie shelf, whether he's cartoony or not. So I think that's probably what we're going to end up doing. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please like, subscribe, comment, and until next time, I'm Alpha Magnus. That's Slushhead.